accurate, transparent, undiluted. We go deep. We bring you the news behind the news. Hana FM News. If it's new, then it's news.
Good afternoon and welcome to World News on Honor 103.5 FM for today, the 1st of May, June 2025. I am Grace Ughalahi. First, the headlines. On the national news this afternoon, over 20 Benue local government areas under siege. Judiciary workers suspend planned nationwide strike. And also, Nigerian police commences enforcement of tinted glass permits. On the African scene this afternoon, Ivory Coast opposition calls for election reforms ahead of votes. On the foreign scene, 26 dead after Israeli tank opened fire near Gaza Aid Center. On the business news this afternoon, market capitalization declined by 48 billion naira on Nigerian exchange platform. In entertainment, Nigerian football star Ahmed Musa marries fourth wife Asma'u Moriki in Kano State. And in sports, Nigerian Super Eagles beat Jamaica on penalty to win Unity Cup as PSG humiliates Inter Milan in Champions League final. Now the news in detail. The Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris Budgaji, has praised President Bola Tinubu's administration for its unprecedented emphasis on technical and vocational education. Budgaji, speaking in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria in Abuja, said the past 2 years have marked a turning point for technical and vocational education and training in Nigeria. He described the Tinubu-led administration investment in technical education as the best in the country's history since the Civil War. Still on the national scene, the Nigerian police force will officially commence enforcement of the reactivated tinted glass permit (TGP) system today, Sunday, 1st June 2025, concluding a 30-day grace period granted to drivers for compliance with the new regulations. This initiative, ordered by Inspector General of Police Kayode Adiola, forms part of a wider strategy aimed at bolstering national security and mitigating criminal activities often associated with vehicles featuring darkened windows. The permit system, launched last month, mandates that drivers apply online via the Police Specialized Service Automation Project (POSSAP) portal. Still on the national scene, the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, has directed its members across the country to suspend for 2 weeks their planned nationwide industrial action scheduled to begin June 2nd. The strike action was put on hold due to the intervention of the Minister of Labour and critical stakeholders who have held series of meetings with the union leaders in the past 48 hours. The meeting was between juicing of various federal judicial bodies, the Minister of Labour and other stakeholders from judiciary as mandated by the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Keke Ref Ekun, to avert closure of courts in June 2nd. Specifically, it was resolved at the meeting that the Minister of Labour and other critical stakeholders be granted 2 weeks to resolve the pending problems with the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Moving on to business, the Nigerian exchange closed the last trading session of the week on a bearish note as the equities market capitalization declined by 48 billion naira, reflecting sustained negative investor sentiment. At the close of trading, the market capitalization dropped to 70.5 trillion naira from the previous day 70.548 trillion naira, while the all-share index depreciated by 76.07 points or 0.07% to close at 111,742.01 points. Despite the decline in key indices, trading activities surged significantly. A total of 1.9 billion naira shares value at 64.15 billion naira were exchanged in 18,653 deals, representing a 242% increase in volume and a 274% rise in turnover compared to the previous trading session. On the African news this afternoon, the Ivory Coast political opposition and alliance of parties known as the Coalition for a Peaceful Alternation called on Saturday for political dialogue with the ruling party, Rally of the Republicans, RDR, 5 months ahead of the presidential election. Opposition leaders denounced President Alassane Ouattara's potential candidacy as well as the exclusion of several political figures from the electoral list, including banker Tidjane Thiam, former Chief Executive Officer CEO of Swiss Bank Credit Suisse, to allow the candidacy of all political leaders. The country's former First Lady, Simeon Boga, asked President Alassane Ouattara to take his pen to write an amnesty law that will erase everything. On the foreign news this afternoon, 26 people have been killed and 150 injured in Israeli tank shelling and gunfire near an aid distribution center in Rafah, southern Gaza, according to medics and residents. Mohammed Barab, a local journalist in Rafah, said thousands of Palestinians have gathered near the aid center when Israeli tank approached and opened fire on the crowd. The Israel Defense Forces said it was currently unaware of injuries caused by IDF fire within the humanitarian aid distribution site. Still on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump on Saturday rescinded his nomination of tech billionaire Jared Isaacman to lead NASA, citing a thorough review of prior association. The president pledged in a social media post that a new nominee will be mission-aligned and put American first in space. After a thorough review of prior association, He thereby withdrew the nomination of Gerard Isaacman to head NASA. Finally, on the sport news, Super Eagles winger Ahmed Musa has tied knots with his fourth wife, Asma Moriki. The private wedding ceremony took place in Kano State, where Ahmed Musa married Jamila in 2013, with the couple divorcing 4 years later when they had 2 children. Musa hooked up with Juliet Eju from Ogaga Cross River shortly after his separation with Jamila. The duo also separated a few years together. His fans and other well-wishers are already wishing him a blissful union on social media. And that will be all on the world news this afternoon, but before we leave, here is a recap of the major headlines. Over 20 Benue local government areas under siege. And also, judiciary workers suspend planned nationwide protests. Nigerian police commences enforcement of tinted glass permits. And on the foreign scene, 26 people have been confirmed dead after Israeli tank opened fire near Gaza Aid Center. And on the business news, we brought you news that market capitalization declined by 48 billion naira on the Nigerian exchange platform. Finally, in sports, Nigerian football star Ahmed Musa marries fourth wife, Asma Moriki, in Kano State. And that's all on the world news on Honor 103.5 FM this afternoon. Kindly keep listening. I am grateful.